In this video I will show you how to make a nice render with using some basic color textures, both in a standard render and in the Arnold renderer. So I'm going to first increment the version of my logo and save. So I will know that this is my colored version. And the next thing what I want to do is I want to create a new material. In this case, what I will be using is some kind of, I don't know, blink or Lambert. Lambert is completely without any reflections. Blink gives a little bit of reflections, such as Fong and Fong extended as well. So I'll just go with a little bit shinier color here. And what I also want to do is I want to enable my reference image from which I will be picking the color from, right? So what I'll do, I'll just move my shield to the side a little bit here. And when I select it back and I go to the attribute editor, inside the blend material properties, I can use a color picker to pick up the color of the image. There we go. So I can now go to a logo itself and I can now create some nice renders, right? So what I can do is I render this. Of course, I will use my hardware render. Like I said, I'm not going to be using Arnold for now. And there is my logo type. There are a couple nice things that I can still do. These black backgrounds are, nice, but not very forgiving into many things. You can see all this smoothing is not really great. So what I can do here is go into the render settings and see which camera I'm using, right? So I'm using the perspective camera. So what I want to do is I want to change the background of this camera, right? So I want it to have the white background instead of a black background. So what I'll do here is I go and while I'm here, I go and I find view, and there should be a select camera. There we go, select camera, right? And now in the attribute editor, I have the camera properties here. And what I can do here in the environment properties of the camera, I can change the background color of the camera. And let's just make it white. So when I render this now, I get this nicer, whiter background. Just gives a bit better view. Next thing what I want to do is I want to make a nice angle. So, positioning the shield there in the center, it's not so great. So what I want to do is I want to put it some a bit nicer angle. And then also what would really make it nice is if I would create some kind of lighting in there to add some little bit of shadows onto my shield. So what I'll do is I'll create this. Sorry about the kid noises, self-isolation. Alright, so now if I turn on my shaded view using button 7, right? So, or turning the lights on like kind of in here, I can actually see how the shadow will look like, right? So I can see how the shade is changing. And then one last thing that I can still do is I can add a ground to my scene. So I'll go to the top view and I'll create a huge plane here underneath my shield, which I'll put down underneath my shield and move it a little bit forward so that when the shade will create the reflection, they will have, when I render it, I will possibly see a little bit of shading here. Right? So it's all looking a bit better. One thing that I'll do actually is I'll make the ground white. So again, I'll assign a new material here, which is going to be a Lambert material, so I don't want it to be reflective at all. And I'll make it white colored. Right, so I'll go here and I'll make it completely white. Alright, and I'll just tweak it a little bit, just to do it like this, and then I resize it towards here so that I lose the angle, so I hide the angle behind it a little bit, right? So I don't see where it's actually changed. You can use a circled ground as well. So if I render it now, there we go. I get a bit nicer result. So in the render view, the ground is still grayish, right? So I want it to be completely white with just the shadow being on the ground. So what I'll do is I'll select the material that this is using, and I'm going to increase the translucence of the material. So there's how the light is reflected from the material, and you can see that this now becomes completely white. So if I render it now, I get this very beautiful nice background, and I still maintain my shadows, right? So what I'll do as the last bit, I'm gonna make those shadows a bit longer. So going something like this, and then render it again, and I get this nice W shaping up in here. So one last thing, I'll just rotate it toward here. So when I render it, I get my W there, right? So but the ground is actually not long enough now. So my last bit here will be to make it longer this way. And rendering it again, I get my W. Alright, in the next video I'll show you how to use Arnold to create even nicer renders.